Hi, I'm Lucy Mills, founder of Your Ideal Fit, a service offering premium in-home Pilates-based fitness training. I'm about to take you through a full-body matwork Pilates class. I'm going to give modifications and advancements throughout so you can choose the best option that works for you for today. Of course, challenge yourself, but listen to your body. Think about the technique, the form, and the placement. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoy. Standing feet hip distance, find the full length of your spine and the full height of your body. Center yourself and focus on the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through pursed lips. Feel the ribs expand in a three-dimensional way, and on the exhale, begin to fire up the deep core muscles. Feel a corset hug 360 degrees around the waist and gently engage the pelvic floor. Start to feel that sensation of an internal lift. 4 to 5 breaths in through the nose. On the next exhale, take a half roll down, stopping when you feel a crease at the belly button, and inhale, restack the spine. Like you're peeling off a wall, articulate from head to mid-back, heavy arms, heavy head. Restack up against the wall. 3 repetitions. Progressing into a full roll down, bending the knees at the bottom to release the lower back. Shake out the arms and the head at the bottom, and then draw the tail between the legs, lift through the center, and articulate through the spine up against that imaginary wall. 3 full roll downs. Articulate through the spine, head to tail on the way down, tail to head on the way up. Making sure to soften the knees to avoid too much of a stretch at this point into the hamstrings. Inhale, reach one arm up to the ceiling. Lengthen the spine as you exhale and side bend. Inhale, restack the spine, and exhale, lower the arm. Repeat on the opposite side, 2 sets. Feel the bottom arm reach down and simultaneously reach the top arm up without changing the level of the shoulders until it draws you over into a side bend. Making sure the lower half of the body doesn't push the weight over to one side, keep it evenly distributed in the center of the legs. Standing the feet, shoulder width apart, parallel, arms up to the side. Standing spine twist. Lengthen the spine, exhale, rotate. Inhale, return to face front. 2 to 3 sets. You can do this with the forearms stacked to ensure it's not just the arms moving. Really focus on the waist. You can also soften the knees to ground yourself down into the floor and ensure the lower body doesn't swing from side to side. Standing saw. Combining the rotation and the roll down. Performing the roll down on that diagonal angle. Inhale to rotate. Exhale to nod the chin to the chest. Peel off that imaginary wall, reaching the hand to the opposite little toe. Inhale, restack the spine, and exhale, return to facing front. 2 sets. Again, make sure the weight is evenly distributed in the center of the feet. Lower body, standing at the front of your mat, feet hip distance, hands on the hips or out to the side. Inhale, step back to a lunge. Exhale, return the feet to hip distance apart. Alternating the legs, 5 sets. Front knee tracking over the midfoot, more towards the heel than the toe, and the back knee driving down toward the floor without actually touching the floor. The step back to a lunge challenges the balance, and subsequently challenges your core a little bit more. Take one more step back to a lunge and hold, reaching the arms up in front of the shoulders. Exhale, rotate over the front leg. Inhale, return, keeping the fingertips in front of the shoulders, and really feel that torso is twisting like you're wringing out water from a wet towel. 8 repetitions. Drive up to standing, reaching the arms to the ceiling, and return to the lunge, returning the arms shoulder height, shoulder width. You can either do this tapping that back foot to the floor or adding a challenge to the balance in the core by driving the thigh and the knee up to a standing tabletop. making sure we don't lean back, making sure we lift through that standing leg, almost like you're lifting your kneecap up through your thigh. Once you've done 8, we repeat the whole series on the other side. Step back to a lunge and hold. 8 torso twists over the front leg. Exhale to rotate, inhale to return. Arms travel through space, but they remain directly in front of the shoulders. Wring out water from the wet towel at that waist. Front knee tracking over midfoot, back knee driving down to the floor. Exhale, drive up to standing, arms reach up to the ceiling. Inhale, return to the lunge, arms drop forward in front of the shoulders. 8 sets. Trying to perform exactly the same exercise as you did on the first side. Only take that balanced knee lift or tabletop if you did on the first side. Modify by keeping the foot on the floor. Challenge the balance by drawing that leg up to tabletop. Once you've performed 8, let's come down onto the knees, tucking the toes under or just pointing the feet and relaxing them on the floor. Kneeling squat. Inhale, sit back toward the heel, hinging at the hip. Exhale, drive up from the glute to your original kneeling position. At the same time, arms press forward and then open to the side of the body, elbows to the side of the shoulder, fist in line with the elbow. Making sure the neck continues the line of the spine, almost like you're holding an apple between the chin and the chest. Pelvis and spine stay neutral throughout. 10 repetitions. Hinge with back fly. Now we remove the hinge from the hip and lean back. Arms start out to the side and reach forward in front of the shoulders on the lean back. Pelvis and spine stay neutral. You almost want to imagine that your pelvis and your body is sandwiched in double glazed windows, so the obliques and the glutes are maintaining that position for you. To challenge yourself, try opening the arms to the side on the lean back and then returning them to shoulder width as you return the body over the knees. 5 of each. Continue to hold that imaginary apple between the chin and the chest, and make sure the shoulders stay stabilized across the back. No over rounding, no over squeezing between the back midline of the shoulder blades. Let's combine 1 of each. 1 kneeling squat, 1 hinge with fly. Inhale on the sit back, exhale as you return up. Inhale on the lean back, exhale as you return the body up. 5 sets. Coming down to a seated position on the mat, knees bent, feet flat, hip distance apart, we roll down to a supine position. Reaching the arms up to the ceiling over the shoulders, palm facing palm, we protract on the inhale and we retract on the exhale. Shoulder blades glide wider, shoulder blades glide narrower. Once you've done a few sets, set the shoulders in the middle at their widest, most open position. Pelvis in neutral. Place the hands behind the head. Inhale, nod the head. Exhale, flex up. Inhale, pause. Exhale, lie down. 4 repetitions. Pelvis remaining neutral throughout. You should finish looking forward with the space of an apple between your chin and your chest. To add a challenge, the next time you flex the head and the shoulders up, draw the right leg to tabletop. Place the foot down as you lie down. Exhale to flex up, leg tabletop. Inhale to lie back down. 4 repetitions. If this is enough, keep going. If you'd like to further the challenge, join the legs together, imprint the lower spine, and draw 2 legs to tabletop as you flex the head and the shoulders up. Simultaneously, head and feet leave the floor, head and feet return to the floor. 4 repetitions. Hold, coming into hundreds. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Option 1, keep the legs in tabletop throughout. Option 2, extend one leg on the low diagonal on the exhale and return it to tabletop on the inhale, alternating legs. Only taking that leg as low as imprint or neutral, if you've chosen to be in neutral, can be maintained. Option 3, to advance the challenge, breathe in, legs tabletop. Breathe out, double leg stretch. Only taking those legs as low as imprint can be maintained. Keep the eye line forward, space of an apple between the chin and the chest, hugging that corset in and keeping the arm movement small and quick. On your final one, return the legs to tabletop, lie down and hug the knees into the chest, returning the feet to the floor. Hip rolls, imprint, squeeze the glutes, peel the body up to a long diagonal line. Inhale at the top and exhale, roll the body down one vertebrae at a time. The focus here is the articulation through the spine. Peel yourself off, almost like the mat is sticky. And at the top, focus on the length of the body, like your knees are being pulled away from your shoulders. Softening the breastbone down first on the way down, releasing the glute squeeze at the end. 5 repetitions holding the final bridge. Draw the right leg to tabletop. Leg circles. You can either choose to keep the leg in tabletop or lengthen the leg to the ceiling for a further challenge. Inhale to start the circle, exhale to finish it off. 5 circles in one direction before reversing 5 circles in the other direction. Keep the even lift underneath the pelvis, pelvis spine neutral. Once you've completed 5 circles, bend that leg, place the foot to the floor, hip distance apart from the other leg, and repeat on the other side. Try and perform in exactly the same position. So if you chose to be in tabletop on the first side, we perform in tabletop on the second side. Otherwise, to further that challenge, we extend the leg. Inhale to begin the circle, exhale to finish it off. 5 in one direction, 5 in the other direction. Even lift under the pelvis, reach through that supporting thigh and knee. Before you bend the leg, place the foot down, soften the breastbone down and roll down through the spine, returning to neutral. Hug the knees into the chest and just take a small rock forward and back, side to side. Coming up to a seated position toward the front of your mat, rolling like a ball. Hands gently placed at the back or side of the knees. Flex the spine, shifting the weight back off the sit bones so the feet float off the floor, creating that ball shape. Inhale, deepen the abdominal connection and roll the body back. Inhale, roll back up to your start position without letting your feet touch the floor. 8 to 10 repetitions. We're maintaining that full spinal flexion, avoiding rolling back so much that you go onto the neck and the head. Inhale to roll back. Exhale to return. Aim to keep the same distance between the tummy and the thighs and the hamstring and the calves. Arm series. Sitting legs crossed, pelvis spine neutral. Sit on a cushion or block if you need to. External rotation. Lining the upper arm along the side of the body, bending the elbows, palms face up to the ceiling. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale, return the hands to shoulder width apart. Don't worry how wide the arms open. Work to the rotation available to you. We're going to do 10 repetitions. Keep the front and back of the shoulder blades wide and maintain the connection between the upper arm and the body. On the 10th one, we hold, ready to feed the arms out to the side and return them, elbows touching the side of the waist. Exhale to reach, inhale to bend. Feel like you're reaching from underneath the arm, almost from the armpit. Palms face up to the ceiling, little finger just as high as the thumb. 8 repetitions. Make sure the hands are in your peripheral vision and then turn the palms to face the sides of the room and almost like you're pushing the walls away, add a gentle press or pump action. Exhale on the press. 8 repetitions, ready to come into circles, making a fist shape. Tennis ball size with the circles. Inhale and exhale throughout the circling, whenever is comfortable for you. 8 in one direction, 8 in the other direction. Turn the palms up to face the ceiling and feed the arms forward in front of the shoulders and return them out to the sides. Palms face up the entire time. 8 sets. Make sure the hands don't go narrower than the shoulders at the front. We don't want to protract the shoulders. And make sure the arms don't go behind you at the side. We don't want to flare the rib cage. Finishing arms to the side, the arms lower and lift. Little finger taps the floor and reach the arms up to a high V position. Palms face forward, arms long. Feel like I'm pulling you, fingertips to one wall at the side, other arm fingertips to the opposite wall. 8 sets, and then lowering the arms. Single arm tricep dip. Side seated position, one leg stacked on top of the other, supporting arm, hand in line with the lower hip, in line with the two heels. We start to bend and stretch that supporting arm, keeping the shoulder wide, collarbone and back of the shoulder. And think about driving the elbow into the waist. Send the weight over the hand a millisecond before you take that dip. Inhale, dip, exhale, stretch. 8 repetitions. To hold the final one down and count to 8. Opening the shoulder, align that elbow, direct it in toward the waist. Before you repeat, exhale, stretch, inhale, bend, 8 repetitions. Repeating on the other side. Side seated position, legs stacked. Lower arm in line with lower hip, in line with two heels. We bend and stretch that supporting arm. Send the weight over the hand. Direct the elbow in towards the waist, not back behind you. Inhale to bend, exhale to stretch. 8 repetitions. Holding down, 8 slow counts. Opening that shoulder, drawing that elbow in. Ready to exhale, press. Inhale, bend a further 8 times. Pressing the floor away through the heel of the hand. Double arm tricep dip, swing the legs around, set the hands behind the body, slightly wider than the hips, fingers facing forward. Inhale, bend the arms. Exhale, press the floor away and extend the arms, making sure the shoulders don't become your earrings. 8 repetitions. For now, the legs are hip distance, feet are flat, seat is down on the floor. To advance, bring the feet a little closer and lift the seat off the floor into the air, continuing with that bend and stretch action of the arms. Inhale to bend, exhale to stretch. Eyeline is forward. Think about keeping the lift under the pelvis. Shoulders down away from the ears. Avoid locking into the elbows as you stretch those arms. On your 8th one, bend the arms, hold it down, slow 8 counts. Before you extend the arms and lower the seat to the floor. Let's take a tricep stretch on each arm. Take one arm up and around behind the head. Grab hold of that elbow with the opposite hand and just draw yourself over into a side bend, feeling that tricep stretch at the same time. Holding each stretch evenly. And then we come down to the mat, ready for our abdominal series, rolling down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. We imprint the lower spine, shorten the distance between the rib and the hip, lengthening the lower back down to the mat. One leg comes to tabletop, second leg comes to tabletop. Flex the head and the shoulders up, single leg stretch. Reach one leg away on the low diagonal, drawing the other leg to tabletop. Interlink the fingers and gently press the hands into the front of the tabletop thigh. 5 sets. Then we add an oblique twist. Hands go behind the head and we rotate, sending the opposite armpit to the thigh. 5 sets. Then we come back to the center, double leg stretch and bend, tailbone lift. 5 sets. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Only taking those legs as low as imprint can be maintained. And try to avoid swinging the legs to get that tailbone lift. Think lower abdominals. Scissors. Separate the legs, one up, one down, 2 pulses, gently holding that top leg. Your focus is how long can you make that bottom leg. 5 sets. We should still be looking forward with the space of an apple between our chin and our chest. Once you have completed your 5 sets, draw the legs together, take them to tabletop, lying down, single leg, heel tap. Exhale, drop the heel, inhale, return. We are maintaining the 90-degree angle at the back of the knee. We are moving the thigh forward and down. 8 repetitions. Trying to avoid the leg dropping so low that we lose that imprint. Don't let the lower back pop up and arch away from the floor. To increase the challenge, try joining the legs together and going for a double leg heel tap. Now we've got double the weight to support, so the legs won't drop as low. Focus on that imprint. Almost imagine you've got a steel rod between your rib and your hip. It can't get longer and it can't start to arch. Let's add some arms for a further challenge. Arms reach halfway back on the exhale as the heels drop, and arms return over the shoulders as the legs return to tabletop. The arms are challenging the rib cage placement and the legs are challenging the pelvis placement. Try holding it. Before you return the arms and legs, hug the knees to the chest. Returning the feet to the floor for a shoulder bridge series. Feet hip distance. Exhale, lift the pelvis to bridge. Inhale, lower, straight back down. 5 repetitions. Pelvis, spine staying neutral throughout. On the final one, hold. Draw the right leg to tabletop as you exhale. Inhale, place the foot back down. Repeat on the left. 5 sets. You're thinking about drawing the knee over the hip, the shin parallel to the ceiling, really working through the ankle and the foot. Peel the heel off, then the toes, and on the way down, toe, ball, heel. Even lift underneath the pelvis. Lowering the pelvis to the floor, ready to combine. As you lift the pelvis to bridge, also lift one leg to tabletop. As you lower the pelvis, place the foot back down. Alternating legs, 5 sets. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Giant steps, making sure the pelvis lifts evenly. Returning to bridge. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 5 sets. Feel like you're folding yourself in half underneath the hip bone as you lower down, maintaining neutral. On the final one, unfold the right leg to the ceiling, flex the foot to lower the leg, point the foot to lift the leg. 5 sets. Lowering the leg roughly in line with the supporting leg, thigh and knee to avoid the pelvis and the lower back overarching. Once you've done 5, bend the leg, place the foot to the floor and take the other leg up to the ceiling. Flex the foot to lower, point the foot to lift. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift. Keep that reach through the supporting thigh and knee, even lift under the pelvis. Once you've done 5, bend the leg, foot goes down, return to that lower and lift shoulder bridge series. 5, focus on the length of the body at the top, reach the knees away. Final 5, reach the arms up to the ceiling, directly over the shoulder, palm facing palm. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 5 repetitions. We lower down for the final time and lengthen the legs along the mat. 1, roll up to a seated position. Inhale, arms come over the chest. Exhale, reach them toward the feet. Peel the body up and over like you're somersaulting over a beach ball. Swinging the legs around, coming to lie on the stomach, ready for breaststroke. Legs together. Unless you have any lower back issues, legs apart, hands underneath the forehead. Inhale, open the shoulders, lengthen, lift head, chest. Exhale to lower. 5 repetitions. Imagine I've got hold of you by the tips of your ears and I'm pulling you forward as you are lifting. Avoid lifting the chin so high that you ever feel creases of skin at the back of the neck. Upper body extension only, so keep the lowest rib down on the floor. To challenge, keep the hands glued to the forehead and repeat a further 5 repetitions. If you do feel the lower back start to sink, slightly tuck the tail under. You can almost imagine there's a hot section of mat underneath your belly button. Heel squeeze prone, bending the legs, heels together, toes apart, knees apart. Exhale, squeeze the heels, slightly lifting the knee and the thigh, but avoid sinking into the lower back. 5 repetitions. Feel the glutes wrap around the thighs. Almost imagine you're trying to crack a walnut in its shell between those heels. Once you've done 5, let's come into a combination, combining the upper body extension and the heel squeeze prone. 10 repetitions, changing the breath. Exhale as you squeeze the heels and lift head, chest. You can opt to glue the hands to the forehead for the more challenging version or leave the arms down on the floor. The knees are roughly the width of the mat, the heels are together, the toes are out, and we are wrapping the glutes around the legs as we squeeze the heels together. Tuck that tail, avoid the lower back sinking. Widen the shoulders, lengthen them down the back, lengthen all the way up through the back of the neck to the crown of the head. Lengthen the legs away, hip distance apart, turned out. Single leg hip extension, alternating legs. 3 sets. Reach that leg so long that it floats an inch up off the floor. At the same time, wrap that glute around the leg, tuck the tail, avoid the lower back sinking. To increase the challenge, let's go to a double leg hip extension, focusing on the reach, the lengthen, then the lift. Keep that turn out, tuck that tail, 4 repetitions, relaxing into the shoulders. Then we add the upper body. Reach the arms forward, shoulder width apart. Now we lift the arms, the head, the chest, and the legs. 10 repetitions. So we're taking in that theory from before. We're not lifting the chin too high that we crease the skin at the back of the neck. We're lengthening all the way up through the upper mid-back to the crown of the head. Legs are lengthening, they're turned out. Lower back is staying out of the equation. Feel like I'm pulling your hands in one direction and your feet in the other direction. We then come into swimming. Paddle the arms and paddle the legs in the opposite direction. Breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 4. 5 sets. Keep the arm movement, the leg movement small and quick. Avoid locking into the knees and the elbows, but keep the arms and the legs lengthened and straight. Try and keep your body as still as possible. Lengthen everything a little bit longer before you lower it down. Bring the hands under the shoulders and sit the bottom back to the heels into a shell stretch. 4-point kneeling position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Feel like you're grabbing the mat with the fingers to take out the tension from the wrist itself. Slide your right arm forward and up 5 times. Exhale as you lift the arm, inhale as you lower the arm. Avoid lifting the arm so high that you start to lean or tip. Just feel that additional challenge to the core and that supporting arm shoulder. 5 on the right arm, 5 on the left arm. You should feel like you're squashing a grape at the back of that supporting armpit. Really open the collarbone, widen the shoulders down against the back. We're going to come into our swimming prep. Slide the right arm and the left leg away from each other and exhale, lift them off the floor before returning them in and repeating on the other side. We're sliding the arm and the leg along the floor. Only once they're straight do we lift them up. We're never lifting them so high that we sink into the lower back or lean or tip or change the body in any way. Pelvis and spine is neutral. 5 sets. Think about that width in the supporting arm shoulder. Back of the pelvis staying as level as possible. Zipping up that corset, no sinking into the lower back. Almost imagine there's a strong magnet between your belly button and your lower spine. We take one more reach and hold. Bend the arm and the leg in and out 5 times. Inhale as you bend, exhale as you stretch. Avoid letting the arm and the knee touch. Keep the shoulders wide, keep the spine neutral. Once you've done 5, let's change the breath and add a cat stretch. Exhale, flex the spine. Inhale, lengthen the spine back to neutral, lengthen the arm and the leg. We're going to go for 5. You can let the arm and the leg touch on this one. Try and evenly flex the spine. Once you've done 5, lengthen, reach, hold. Open the arm and the leg in opposite directions, never so big that the body moves. Exhale to open, inhale to return, 5 repetitions. Coming into our final exercise, ready to lower and lift that back leg 5 times. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Keep the arm up to challenge. Lower the hand to the floor to modify. Once complete, hand down, knee down. Let's repeat on the other side. Reach arm and leg away from each other. Hold it up. Bend them in and out 5 times. Inhale to bend, exhale to stretch. Pelvis, spine staying neutral. Don't let the elbow and the knee touch. Wide shoulder, specifically on that supporting side. Getting ready to add your cat stretch, changing the breath. Exhale to flex the spine, draw the elbow and the knee in. Inhale to lengthen and reach. Avoid sinking and overextending into that lower back. Lengthen out to neutral, widen the shoulder. 5 repetitions. Getting ready to open the arm and the leg in the opposite directions. Squash a grape at the back of that supporting arm. Keep the torso still. Final exercise, lower, lift that back leg. Zip up that corset. Think about the magnet between your belly button and your spine. If you lowered the arm to the floor on the first side, we lower it now. Once you've done 5, hand down, knee down, cat stretch. Flex the spine, tail to head, rounding evenly from tail to head. Returning to neutral, and let's come into a couple of side bends. Think shoulder or ear to the hip, and then to the other side. Evenly stretching right to left. Sitting back on the heels, press the hands away from the chest, flexing the upper spine, and just rotate. Send the hands, the chest, the nose to one diagonal, then the other diagonal. Then send the interlinked fingers behind the back of the pelvis, reach them down, lengthen them away and up, open up through the front of the chest, lifting the eye line, lengthening the neck. Lying in a straight line to begin with, bottom arm straight, resting the head down, top hand in front of the ribs and the chest. Really reach that top hip away from the shoulder. Stack the top hip over the bottom hip. Then set the legs about 45 degrees in front of you and lift the top leg to hip height. Flex the foot, send the leg forward. Point the foot, send the leg back. Exhale as you send the leg forward. Inhale as you send the leg back. This is our side kick. 8 repetitions. Avoid sending the leg too far forward, otherwise that pelvis is going to tuck and pull under. Avoid sending the leg too far back, otherwise that pelvis is going to tip forward and we're going to overextend the lower back. So monitor that range of movement in the leg so we can maintain neutral. You should also be able to maintain that very small space underneath the lower waist. Joining the legs together, place them in a straight line with the body. Inhale, lift the top leg. Exhale, lower the top leg. Point the foot to lift, flex the foot to lower. 8 repetitions. Feel like you're reaching that top leg so long, it's impossible to lift it any higher than your hip. I should still be able to slide my fingers underneath that lower waist. Then think about joining the legs together and lifting both legs and lowering both legs. Exhale to lift the legs, inhale to lower the legs. Keep focusing on reaching that top leg. The legs won't lift very high here. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower, 8 repetitions. We're going to continue with this leg action and add in a side bend. Top arm rests on the top leg. Press down into that bottom arm. Feel like you're dragging it in and underneath you as you side bend. Avoid looking to the feet. Imagine you're sandwiched in double glazed windows. You can only look forward. The more you press down into that bottom arm, the more support it's going to give you. Keep that inner thigh connection. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Coming up to rest on the forearm, bending the knees, top hand on the hip, supported side plank, knees stay down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower, 5 repetitions. Make sure that bottom elbow is underneath the shoulder. Chest, nose, tummy faces front. To increase the challenge, try stretching the top leg, flexing the foot so you can press down on the midline of the foot and continue that side plank, lift and lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower, 5 repetitions. If you'd like to further the challenge, try both legs straight, top leg in front of the bottom leg. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower, 5 repetitions. Avoid lifting that bottom shoulder up to the ear. On your 5th one, hold it, thread the needle. Arm threads under, we rotate, chest, nose looks down. Arm reaches up to the ceiling, chest, nose faces front. 5 repetitions. We then come down to the floor and repeat everything on the other side. Gently resting the head down on the bottom arm, top hand on the floor in front. Set the legs in front of you and just reach that top hip away from the shoulder, get that little space underneath the waist. Side kick. Top leg lifts to the height of the hip. We flex the foot, we send the leg forward, we point the foot, we send the leg back. Exhale as you send the leg forward, inhale as you send the leg back. 8 repetitions. Make sure the leg maintains that hip height, almost like it's polishing a low coffee table. And we monitor that we maintain neutral. Don't send the leg too far forward or too far back. If I was to stand over you, that pelvis shouldn't be tucking under or tipping forward. Joining the legs together, lining them up with the body. Inhale, lift the top leg. Exhale, lower the top leg. Point the foot to lift, flex the foot to lower. 8 repetitions. Reach that leg so long that it almost feels impossible to lift higher than the hip. If it did lift higher than the hip, it's very likely your lower waist is going to collapse down. Keep reaching that top leg. Joining the legs together. Exhale, lift both legs. Inhale, lower both legs. They won't lift as high. Feel that inner thigh connection, almost like I've sellotaped the legs as one. Keep reaching that top leg longer. If my fingers were underneath your lower waist, don't squash them as you lift your legs. 8 repetitions. Ready to add the side bend. Top arm reaches, slides down the side of the top leg toward the knee. As you press down into that bottom arm, feel like you're dragging it in and underneath you. 2 legs lift as you side bend and lower as you lower the head to the floor. Avoid using the front of the body. Don't look toward the feet. Isolate the side. Chest and nose and tummy faces front. 8 repetitions. Coming up onto the forearm and the elbow. Side plank. Supported version, knees down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Making sure the elbow is under that shoulder. Avoid lifting the shoulder or sinking into the shoulder. You want to have space between the shoulder and the ear. Increase the challenge by stretching that top leg. Flex the foot, press down into the midline of the foot, and we continue with the lift and the lower. That bottom leg, the knee should be bent slightly in front of you, the foot slightly behind you, just to give you a good base of support. Final challenge, perform with 2 legs straight. Top foot in front of the bottom foot. Whichever variation of the exercise you did on the first side, try and perform exactly the same variation on this side. Thread the needle to finish. Exhale, feed the arm under, chest, nose faces down. Inhale, send the arm up without letting it go behind you. Also, try not to look up at that arm. Both of these things could pull you back off balance. Once you've done 5, lower the body to the floor. Just sit, hugging the knees, and extend the upper mid-back. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Sitting with the legs crossed, let's just drop the head and just let it gently swing and roll from side to side, letting the shoulders come with you. A couple of shoulder rolls up and around to the back, and then up and around to the front. 4-point kneeling position, hands under the shoulders, knees together under the hips, toes tucking under. Exhale, lift the knees an inch. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower the knees. Inhale, hold. 8 repetitions. Feel like you're squashing a grape at the back of the armpit. You should feel the work happening here just as much in the shoulder area as the core. Very small lift of the knees. They're barely leaving the floor. To increase the challenge, we're going to set the hands slightly further forward, shift the shoulders forward so they're over the hands once more. Your hips are now in front of your knees. And this time, as the knees lift, we also extend the knee, reaching the heel of the foot away from the crown of the head. So we're hitting a full plank position. Exhale to stretch, inhale, hold. Exhale to lower, inhale, hold. 8 repetitions. Feel like you're getting longer as you extend the legs, not necessarily higher and lower, almost like you're shooting out of a cannon. Feel the knees lifting up through the quads. You're going to hold the last one and shift the ankle forward and back. Avoid lifting the body up and down. Shift the body forward, shift the body back. Breathing in and out wherever feels comfortable for you. 8 sets. Take a shell stretch. We return to that plank position, lifting the knees up through the quads, glutes engaged, inner thighs engaged, corset hugging, squashing that grape. Lift the right leg, lower the right leg. Alternating legs. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 8 sets. We're never lifting that leg so high that the lower back starts to sink. Knees down, shell stretch. Coming into our Pilates push-up. You can either keep the knees down on this exercise, or you can go for a full plank position. Long body, head all the way through to knee. Inhale, bend the arms, lower the body closer to the floor. Exhale, press the floor away, extend the arms without locking into the elbow. Really feel that corset hugging, pelvis neutral. Focus on that long line from head to knee. Elbows are going back at a 45-degree angle to maintain your shoulder placement. 8 repetitions. And take a shell stretch. Reverse plank with bent knees, hands side or forward. Opposing the plank work, working the opposite side of the shoulder girdle and hip joint now. Open the shoulders. Keep looking forward, not up. Exhale to lift the pelvis, inhale to lower the pelvis. Legs and feet are hip distance apart, hands are slightly wider than the body. 8 repetitions. Holding the final one up, ready to alternate the leg into a tabletop leg lift. Exhale to lift the leg, inhale to lower the leg. Keep the lift, the even lift under the back of the pelvis. Return the feet to hip distance apart. Eye line forward, trying not to lock into the elbow. And sit yourself down and come up to standing. Standing feet hip distance, interlink the fingers, press them up to the ceiling. Draw the arms and the body over to a side bend, bend and drop the opposite knee. Inhale, restack, exhale, side bend to the opposite side, bend and drop the opposite knee. Inhale, restack and lower the arms. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest, peel off a wall, bend the knees, heavy arms, heavy head. Big breath in, exhale, draw the tail between the legs, roll the body up 1 vertebrae at a time to standing. Balance ending. Inhale, bend the knees, exhale, stretch. Inhale, peel the heels up off the floor. Right arm floats up, left arm floats up. Right arm goes down, left arm goes down. Now reach an inch taller as you lower the heels to the floor, and you are done. We made it. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, there'll be plenty more online videos coming shortly, so like and subscribe to be the first to be notified when new content comes out. Link below to my Instagram and my website. Again, thanks for joining me, and I really hope to see you again soon.